Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings today. We're so excited to have you again. A key stakeholder in the South have responded to the claim of President Muhammadu Buhari's government over peace stability in the Niger Delta, as he has opened up on a lot of failures of the current administration, tracing it back to 2016, and some of the things that he has done to show that he has little or no care about the Niger Delta people. We are going to be looking at all of this in a jiffy. But before we do that, if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly hit the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish our videos. A former federal commissioner for information and South leader, Chief Edwin Clark, has taken a swipe at President Muhammadu Buhari on his position on the Niger Delta, saying that the president's claim of bringing peace to the geopolitical zone is unattainable, untrue, and without foundation. The South leader said that state of insecurity in the country has reached a state of near total collapse, adding that the leader of security being enjoyed or the level of security being enjoyed in the Niger Delta region at the moment, where the agitators agreed to shield the sword, was as a result of his effort and others through meetings conveying his capacity as the leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEL, and not as portrayed erroneously by the president that he brought about peace in the zone. Clark, who accused President Muhammadu Buhari of adopting what he described as a cold attitude towards issues affecting the Niger Delta, has however warned that the deliberate neglect of the South can lead to the explosion of the cake of gunpowder upon which we are sitting in the Niger Delta. According to the Elderstateman, part of the Buhari's hatred for the people of Niger Delta region reared its head when at 91 his Asokoro, Abuja residence was invaded on 4th September 2018 by security men from the Tactical Squad, a monitoring team in the office of the Inspector General of Police, who came in two vans fully armed to search my house with a search warrant obtained from the magistrate court in Abuja. He said that in spite of the fact that he wrote to the president on the issue, he vehemently refused to respond, saying that if such an incident has happened to any of his contemporaries in the north from Kano State, Katsina State, Sokoto State, Kaduna State, etc., President Muhammadu Buhari's attitude would have been different, adding that the reason given by the Nigerian police force was that it had information that a Hilux van loaded with arms from the Niger Delta region was being offloaded into my residence. This is really serious. In an open letter to President Muhammadu Buhari, Your Excellency, my disagreement with your claim on the Niger Delta region, which was made available to journalists yesterday, the chairman of the Southern Middle Belt Leaders Forum, SMBLF, said that the president was wrong in the statement against the backdrop that insecurity, which has reduced during former President Goodluck Jonathan, resumed in very alarming rate as soon as he came into power as the president of the country. The Elderstateman noted that it is unfortunate that the Niger Delta region was being treated with disdain by the president in spite of the fact that a sustainable portion of the region of the country's earning, which finance the nation's budget that runs into trillions of naira, is from the Niger Delta region of the country. Clark said, I hope this letter meets you well as we have entered a new year 2022, which is a watershed before the much-awaited year 2023, during which Nigerians expect your government will deliver credible and peaceful election to our people. I am writing to bring to recollection Your Excellency's recent statement regarding peace and security in the region, Niger Delta, amongst other parts of the country. Your Excellency was specifically quoted to have said that your government has succeeded in improving upon peace in the northeast and south-south from what you inherited. Your Excellency, I beg to somewhat disagree with you on the general state of insecurity in the country, which is present in a state of near collapse. Of more concern to me is your claim with respect to the Niger Delta or the South-South zone. No doubt a good amount of peace has come to the Niger Delta in the past few years. However, your claim as having been the main architect that brought the peace does not properly convey what transpired. Please, Mr. President, I respectfully wish to state that your claim of bringing peace to the South-South geopolitical zone is unattainable, untrue, and without foundation. The deliberate neglect of the South-South can lead to the explosion of the cake of gunpowder upon which we are sitting in the Niger Delta. I will soon be 95 years old and I am on my way out. God may soon give me my delay boarding pass, but the coastal Niger Delta will remain forever as part of Nigeria. I strongly advise you to listen and heed the various open letters I have written to you. If you will recall, Your Excellency, before your government came on board, insecurity, which has reduced substantially during the tenure of your predecessor, resumed in a very alarming rate. The period saw the emergence of a new group, the Niger Delta Avengers, which virtually held your government hostage. Oil production went down to as low as about 800,000 barrels per day. Your government adopted a military approach to quell the agitation by deploying the so-called Operation Crocodile Smile in August 2016, which did not in any way solve the problem. I recall meeting the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, retired, at the Benin Airport, returning to Abuja after he has launched the operation in Sapele, Delta State. I knew from what moment that the operation will not succeed, as it will be a second time the army was carrying out the operation or the attack in the creeks of the Niger Delta. In order to solve the problem in a pragmatic way, I convened a meeting of leaders and elders of the Niger Delta at the conference hall of the Petroleum Training Institute (PTA) or PTI, a forum, Delta State, on Friday, 16 August 2016, to seek for a peaceful solution to restore peace to the region, where the Niger Delta Forum (PANDEF) was birthed as the umbrella body for the Niger Delta region, comprising all leaders of the various people of the South-South geopolitical zone. We arrived at a peaceful method of resolving the issues. Thereafter, we held a series of meetings at my house in Abuja. In our interaction during the period, one may complain of the people, or one main complaint of the people was the fear that Your Excellency's government have adopted a cold attitude towards issues affecting the Niger Delta region after the exit of Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan as president of the country, prosecuting those from the region who serve in his government. I am a victim of such prosecution when my residence in Abuja was invaded on 4th September 2018 by security men from the Tactical Squad, a monitoring team in the office of the Inspector General of Police, who came in 2 vans fully armed to search my house with a search warrant obtained from a magistrate court in Abuja. The operation lasted for about 2 hours. I wrote to Your Excellency through my lawyer, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, Esquire, but Your Excellency never replied. Then I was 91 years old. If this had happened to any of my contemporaries in the north, from Kano State, Katsina State, Sokoto State, Kaduna State, etc., Your Excellency attitude, I am sure, would have been different. The reason given by the Nigerian police force was that it has information that a Hilux van loaded with arms from the Niger Delta region was being offloaded in my residence. The invasion attracted several reactions from various quarters in the country. Several persons and groups solidarity with me. Some of them include former President Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, former military President General Ibrahim Baramasi Babangida retired, former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki, former Governor of Kano State Rabiu Kwankwanso, a seven-man delegation from Akwa Ibom State government, which comprised serving and past members of the National Assembly and other dignitaries. The Ijaw youth reacted in Port Harcourt, Yenagoa, and Warri, demonstrating and protesting the invasion. Their action was instrumental to my quick acceptance of the apology tendered by the Inspector General of Police through a delegation he sent to me, led by Deputy Inspector General of Police Habila Josak. Others were two Assistant Inspector General of Police AIG and one Commissioner of Police. Also, apart from the prosecution, there were also grave concerns about marginalization and abandonment of ongoing projects in the region. Arising from this, the PANDEL developed a 16-point agenda to ensure inclusiveness of the region in the programs and activities of your government. We also began to engage various agencies of the federal government. Ultimately, on 1st November 2016, the leadership of the people of the Niger Delta, led by me, paid you a visit at the presidential villa. The visit was facilitated by the then Minister of State Petroleum, Dr. Ibe Kachichukwu, including all the federal leaders, high office holders, key traditional leaders, religious on women, and your leaders. Just for a record, I reproduce here the 16-point agenda presented to Mr. President. He went further to say that similarly to our visit to Your Excellency, the Niger Delta people under my leadership also visited the Vice President, Professor Exp0se, as acting president on 10 August 2017 on his invitation to discuss issues on the region. Arising from the discussion we had with the Vice President, we called a general meeting in Port Harcourt to brief members on the outcome of the meeting and to hold further this discussion to be held at the Atlantic Hotel or Atlantic Hall of the Hotel Presidential. Surprisingly, to our dismay, security forces made up of officials of Department of State Services (DSS) and the Nigerian Police Force stormed the venue of the proposed meeting, cordoning it off as early as 6 a.m., thus preventing members of the organization PANDEL from holding the meeting. I immediately contacted the director of operation of DSS, who informed me that there is nothing they can do because the order is from above. The meeting was aborted and over 400 members of the organization from all over the region who were to attend the meeting had to return to their homes. To date, we have not been told our offense. At both meetings with you and the Vice President referred to above, we were assured that serious and prompt action will be taken to address our concern, which you yourself agreed with us are genuine, mentioning the sacrifices which we continue to make and the suffering we continue to bear as the goose that lay the golden egg in this country. As a follow-up to our visit, the Vice President, Professor Exp0se, as acting president, undertook a tour of the Niger Delta region to see things for himself. Unfortunately, sadly, and disappointingly, the promises Your Excellency and the Vice President, as acting president, made are far from being looked into, not to talk about considering and executing them. For example, the East-West Road project, the major road connecting the region with other regions, remaining uncompleted nearly 20 years since commencement, despite the fact that a substantial portion of the revenue of the country is earning, which finances the nation's building or budget, running into trillions of naira, is derived from this region. Today, another environmental pollution is threatening the lifespan of the people of the region, and that is the soot said to emit from the activities of illegal refineries. This is what could have been avoided if the federal government continuous promises of building modular refineries did not remain a mirage, a pipe dream, an empty promise. At different state capitals and towns Professor Osinbajo visited, during his tour, he promised that modular refineries will be built to replace the local refineries the people are doing. While one is not in support of this youth, they have to survive since nothing has been done. almost about 5 years the youth have survived, so continue with the artisanal refining despite its health hazard to them and others. Relating to the above failed promise is also the failed promise of relocation of operational headquarters of the oil companies to the Niger Delta. Yet again, is a failed or lackadaisical attitude of the federal government at a snail pace with no substantial work done concerning the Ogoni cleanup. What about the oil pollution which still takes place every day and is being poorly regulated? The recent case of oil spillage at the Barbara in Nembe, Bayelsa State, which went on without being stopped for 38 days with more than 100,000 barrels of oil released into the environment, is still fresh in our memory. Since the other issues raised are already listed above, I need not take them one by one, but they are all self-evidence that the people of the Niger Delta region are being treated very badly and shabbily. Let me raise another issue which is still very current, and that is the question of the Petroleum Industry Act. Before the Niger Delta crisis, early 2000, we had washed or warned the government to stop the outright neglect of the environmental and damage it is causing our ecosystem with the reckless operational activities of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and the oil companies. These warnings were not heeded until the crisis erupted and all manner of agitation surfaced. Recently, both the Vice President, Professor Exp0se, the Governor of Delta State, represented by his deputy, Barrister Kingsley Atuaru, who also hailed from one of the oil-producing host community, the Minister of State Petroleum, Chief Tembere Silva, made statement about plans for intervention in reply to concern of our youth about marginalization while recently protesting against the neglect and the oil pollution in their area where there is development, particularly drinking water, whereas they sit on top of the water, fishes are being killed as a result of the pollution. Meanwhile, federal roads in the Niger Delta region have mostly collapsed, and applying these funds to rehabilitate this collapsed road would have gone a long way to solving some of our problem. Wow, it was a long one, but it was worth going into because it totally, showcases what